And there's another question like that where you try. Let's look at some more mathy type problems. This packet's good. It gives you more explanation, review of kind of what I've said. One thing that I haven't talked about is, you know, the triangles that we've looked at so far have all been the same orientation. They've been drawn the exact same way. So it's been really easy to match up sides that are the same. But sometimes you're going to get triangles that don't match up. They're not drawn the same. And you're expected to figure out those orientations. Let's see, I don't really see any like that here. This is a pretty good packet. Let's see, look at some of these other packets I gave you. This one's okay, but they don't give you a way to know which sides are the same. So annoying. All right, look at this one. Number 3. Says triangles ABC and DEF are drawn below. Okay, it says if AB is 9, BC is 15, DE is 6, EF is 10, and the angle B is equal to the angle E. Which statement is true? Okay, well, regardless, we're not going to do that one. Well, let's go ahead and label it. So draw this as they are. FED, AC. Now you need to label them according to what they tell us at the bottom. AB is 9. Okay, that's this bottom section here. AB, so that side is 9. BC is 15. DE is 6. EF is 10. Okay. And if angle B is equal to angle E, which statement is true? All right, so I don't really care so much about that particular question. I just like that they're not oriented the same. So we have to pay attention to our labels. Okay, so it told us that triangle ABC was similar. This is the symbol for similar to DEF. There's more to that than what you may think, because when they label these and when they describe these in this way, they're telling us which angles are the same, but also which sides are the same. All right. So angle A is the same as angle D. I know that because they're both listed first. Since they're similar, we know angle A and D are the same. So I could label that with a single mark in the angle. Angle B is the same as E. Angle B is the same as E. So angle C is the same as F. I'm gonna put 3 marks in that. So when you're trying to figure out the orientations, when they're different and you're trying to figure out which sides are the same, you can use the description. So I showed you how we can figure out which angles are the same, but we can also see the sides here as well. Okay. Side AB is the same as DE. AB is the same as DE. BC is the same as EF. BC is the same as EF. Okay, so let's see if these are truly similar triangles. We have all the numbers, So we're just going to set up the proportion. All right. So let's just start with this one. 15 over 9 equals. Now I got to match up. So 15 is BC. So that's EF on the other one. So the 10 has to go next to the 15. And then the 9 is AB, which is the same as DE, so 6. So are these similar triangles? Okay, how do we know? Well, what we know is if they're similar triangles, they're going to have the same cross products. So multiply each one across. 9 times 10 is 90. 15 times 6 is 90. So you could be given a question like that where you're not trying to find a side. You're trying to figure out, are they actually similar? So you set up your proportion and cross multiply each way. You should get the same thing if they're similar. If you get different things, they're not similar triangles. Okay. So, but really what I wanted you to focus on is the orientations are can be figured out by using the descriptions at the top. Okay. Let's go back to some worksheets. So then, take a look at number 4 here. I like this. They are having you describe So they are similar. We can tell that by looking at the angles. So triangle JKL would be the same as what? So describe the other triangle. There's a U, a V, and a T. And so remember, just like we talked about on that last problem, we have to use the same order that they used. So they did JKL. And they actually wrote it properly by starting with the triangle symbol, is similar. So we're going to write triangle, which angle is the same as J in the other triangle. Now, if you look, you're looking for that single mark in the angle. So that would be T. So we're going to start by writing a T. The second letter is K, and we want to match what's the same as K in the other triangle, which would be U. And finally, the last one would be a V. There's no symbol in it, just like there's no symbol in L. Okay, so these descriptions can be very beneficial. You got lots of similar triangles parts. Let's just do a couple problems here. Now, I don't like it when they don't have them oriented the same way and don't give you a description like number 14, because you're left to assume. Okay, take a look at number 15 here. All right, go ahead and pause it and try and do this problem. Remember, the best way to probably do this is to separate the two. But go ahead and give it a try. All right, I'm going to draw this. All right. So they'd already told us in the directions that these triangles were similar. So we do know they're similar. And there is a little bit of a trick to this. Okay, we're trying to find this section. Okay, and so what we know is the overall triangle, the big one, is 18 by 12. No, it's not. Sorry. I already told you wrong. 12 is the overall. This is not. This is 18 and 6. So first thing is we got to put those together. So that side's 24, this side's 12. Looking at the little triangle, it's 6. And we don't know this side. Only thing we know is that it combines with the other side to make 12. So, depending on how comfortable you are with this, take a look at the small triangle, it's 6. The big triangle is 24. Okay, so that means the big triangle is 4 times greater than the small triangle. And so we could follow that rule. We know this 12 is 4 times greater than this, which means that's going to be a 3. All right, I'll show you with the proportion here in a minute. If that's a 3 from here to here, and the whole thing is a 12, then we can reason out this must be a 9, because 9 and 3 make the 12. All right, these are probably going to be tough. These are tough when I'm teaching them in class. I want you to get the idea, but I don't want you to stress either. There may be one problem on there like this, maybe 2 at the most, but you know, probably not a whole lot of problems on the test like this. So let's use a proportion. So this is what we don't know. So start with what we don't know, or start with what we didn't know that was a 3 either, did we? So we know the overall is 12 and 18. 12 and 18. Match up what we don't know. So we don't know this in the small triangle, but we do know this is the same as the overall in the big. So 6, it's not 18, sorry, this is 24. So it can be a little confusing. So the overall is 24. In the big one, the overall is 6 in the small one. Those go next to each other. We don't know this. There's your proportion. Cross multiply, you get 72 divided by the number left equals 3. So then we figure out this side of the small triangle is 3, and now we have to reason it out that if the big triangle has a full side of 12, here's 3 of it, that's the remaining 9. Okay, so this is pretty tough. I would suggest